Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. By the way, I ain't wearing clothes right now because my AC just died. So it's going to be a hot day over here. So we're going to be topless for at least this one. If I do something tomorrow, probably the same thing. They're not coming to fix it until Monday. So I'm going to be without for a little while. So if you like this type of content, not the nude part, you know, but if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on the way in and let's see what's happening. Now, the big talk of the town, by the way, has been xCellar. It has accelerated and it is up 437% right now on the day after having just a banging time. Now, to give you full disclosure here, I sold my bag at it was up 18x at about 18 million. So this last 14 million, they've added 14 million to the market cap since I sold. All right. And that is a huge number. And I hope that some of you are still in there. I hope you're still making your money. It is absolutely breaking out. But for me, I want profit. I want to make my money. xCellar is not something that's ever going to make me rich to begin with. So it was not something that I was going to hold on to for a long period of time. I took the whole thing out last night. When I did, by the way, I was looking for a dip. I did not get that dip. This is October 4 right here. We sold at right on this big red candle is actually where we sold right here, right near the top there at 18. It was at 2300. It was about 11 o'clock last night. And I said, you know what, before I go to sleep tonight, I'm just going to take it. What I was hoping for was that I got an opportunity to add a bid at right here. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for an opportunity to collect it down to 10.45 million, maybe get in at that range, maybe get in at about 8 million for another leg up. But instead of that, guess what? It just continued on and it broke out. Now, here's the good news. The good news, and by the way, I talked to Awesome Austin. I even told him that I was like, hey, man, I sold my bag. And he's like, that's fucking crazy, man. Why would you do that? I mean, hey, look, profit is profit. I just made 18 grand. Why am I going to continue to hold on in case it might become 30 grand? What already made 18 grand? Why am I going to keep doing that? You know what I mean? By the way, if you're making a whole bunch of money off of that and you got it because of me, make sure you tip the wallets down below. Don't forget your boy. You know what I mean? So anyway, so it consolidates right here and then it just absolutely takes off. Now, Austin seems to believe that there's going to be a tier 1 exchange listing that's going to happen in very short order. And it should be noted, the volume right now, 5.8 million. Volume tells me that there is some real opportunity here that, you know, these exchanges are going to be looking at this thing and they're going to want to be part of it. They're going to want to make sure that they provide it to you guys because they want to cut on that $5 million. Uniswap can't make all the money. You know what I mean? And this is Ethereum. So that's where most of the trading is happening right now on Uniswap. So maybe we'll see something happen. Now in the 5-minute candle, it's down a little bit. 3-hour candle, it's, you know, kind of ranging right now. Seems to be fighting to go back up. You can see right here for the last couple of hours, you've had this little fight for the breakout right now. When that slows down, if that slows down for any more time. Now, let me show you one more thing here, which is why I'm giving you a warning. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am giving you a warning here. All right, we had 2 candles right here that were wicking, and then we had a breakout We didn't get above, but then an hour later, we got above. Then we got 2 candles. We got a little bit of a dump. We got some sideways action, and now we got a pump. Well, now we've got 3 candles not filling out. That is a top signal, by the way. For anybody who's wondering, that is going to come out to be a top signal. Now, if we look at the RSI, we kind of had a clean chart up until just recently. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about right here. The RSI is now up here, while at the same time down here. That is called a bearish divergence. When you get a bearish divergence, the most likely thing is the most likely thing to happen here is going to be a dump. Okay, that is the most likely. Doesn't mean that it will happen, but the most likely play out here is a dump into this. Now, the reason that I'm telling you this is because the one thing that you're looking for with the RSI, when the RSI continues to go up, 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 up and away, and the chart continues to go up, up, up and away, that means that new buyers are stepping in. Okay, new buyers are stepping in. All right, but when you look at this right now and you see what's called a bearish divergence, the primary indicator that you've reached the top is because the RSI is no longer pumping while the chart is pumping. And what does that mean? It means that the existing whales, the existing people are just buying more. Now, when that happens, that's generally because somebody wants to trap people in. And that means that the most likely scenario is that they are preparing to dump. Now, if they're preparing to dump, then that means that they're going to take a lot of profit along the way. So you need to be looking for an entry point. Now, again, does not mean that's going to happen. Does not mean that it will. Okay. But it does mean that we should be looking for opportunity. Now, when we look for opportunity, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for an entry position. Okay. So if you grant that the pivot is right here, and that's the move right there. If this thing comes back down into the 22 million market cap, it's a perfect accumulation time. The reason that I'm giving you that is because it's right there at that 618. And with the strength right now starting to wane with 3 big candles here, it cannot break 35 million with that happening right now. That means, again, that there could be some sellers stepping in right now, and they are selling this top over and over and over again. 30 million, 33 million, somewhere in that range. Clearly a profit-taking position for somebody large, because they keep selling into this for the last 3 hours. Now, with that being the case, then the most likely scenario is a stiff dump into like that 19, 20 million category, and then a retest of around 30 million again, and then a dump a little bit further. Now, because it's showing strength, you could see, and by the way, I'm saying it could happen. I'm not saying that it will. Don't invest based on what I'm saying. This is just my opinion. But maybe a move down here to 24, then a move back up to 30, then a breakdown a little bit into this little range right here, somewhere past that golden pocket or golden zone. And then we start to see that climb and that breakout for whatever listing is coming. Now, that does not mean that that's going to happen, but I'm going to leave that right there just to give you guys an idea that that's what I see happening right now, that, you know, it's starting to get tough to continue on. So you need something new to happen, but that's going to be a tier 1 exchange. That's going to be new listings, right? It's going to be listings. It's going to be information that comes out that changes the paradigm or the course of what's happening over here. God damn, it's hot in here. Whew. That's going to change the paradigm here just a little bit. Okay. In my opinion, when that happens, there's a perfect opportunity to accumulate. Now, I will not be accumulating at this point. In the event that I get what I think is the opportune moment here, and that is, let me zoom out here and let me give you a more logical take for me, and that is a larger structural change right there. My accumulation area, this is 3 days, by the way. In 3 days, it's gone to 30 million from a 1 million market cap. Okay, so this is a great run, fantastic run. If you're not taking your profits right now, I'm telling you right. Listen. Okay, we got to talk here. Okay, until there's until there's an actual utility, until this thing is working, this is still a meme coin, okay? In the line of any other meme coin, all right? It's got some traction right now, but they've all had traction, okay? They all get their runs. The question at this point is, what happens, okay? What happens next? I'm taking my money, okay? I'm already out of it. I will get back in if it comes back down to a 10 to 15 million market cap. If it comes down to 10, 15 million, then I will probably ape my entire bag back in. Okay. That would be my strategy there. Okay. But other than that, like there's no way, it will not last. Okay. Is basically what I'm saying. Okay. And by the way, that doesn't mean that it won't go to 100 million or 50 million or whatever the case may be. This could be a special one, could end up at $1 billion market cap. I'm just saying that from a trading standpoint, I'm done until it comes back down because it's overheated. Now, I want to show you something that this is the reason that I'm saying it, okay? And this is because look, I ended up being right about this. I didn't want to be, but I ended up being right about it. And that was this right here. You guys remember when Circle launched and it was it was an IPO. It was in the original launch. It started at $64, shot all the way up to $298. And it looked like there was no stopping it. This is a daily chart, by the way. It was so hot that it went 1, 2, 3 days. 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight days of, and by the way, there were 4 red candles in there, but you had gaps right here. You had, look, this was, you had futures gaps, CME gaps. You had all kinds of stuff happening over here, but it was getting super hot. And then what ended up happening, it came all the way down to the 786. Let this sink in for just a moment. It came all the way down from its launch, from the launch price to the 786. So there was an opportunity to accumulate back over here again at 110. That's where you buy. This is the spot where you buy. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what I tell you always happens. I tell you that we run up, then you come back down to the 0.45, the 0.5, somewhere in that range, maybe even into that 618 area, and then boom, you test the 236. It did that. And then what did it do? It dumped all the way down to the 618, tested again, a small test, and then it dumped all the way down to this 786. Okay. This is Circle. These are the people that make $1 billion a quarter just by minting USDC, okay? USDC is way more ubiquitous in this market right now than xCellar or any other crypto, or very few, well, I mean, than most other cryptos. And it came down 80% from its top, okay? So believe me when I say it always comes back down. It's the question of what happens after it comes back down. What do we do at that point? Now, let's go back over here and look at it one more time. Like, it's really breaking out. It's really having a good run. As this continues on, and it may continue on. You know, if it goes to 50 million market cap, then that's going to be right there. And your 786 is going to be at about 15.6 million market cap. So, you know, where that 786 ends up, I don't know yet. I'm just kind of guessing. I'm flying blind here. And again, I'm not telling you that I'm not telling you to take your money. I'm not telling you to take it out, but I am telling you that if you don't take your original investment and a serious profit off of this up 30x right now, then you are a fool. Okay. And I can't put that any other way. You come to me, you're looking for ways to make money, ways to make profit. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy I'm telling you what I'm doing and what my opinion is on this. And my opinion is, if you don't take the money when you make the money, you will lose the money. And let me look no further. Let me take you no further than remind you of exactly how our history has kind of played out over the last, let's call it 6 months. Remember Little Puff? Remember we had Little Puff. Where did Little Puff go? Little Puff went here. We got in on this at 100,000 market cap or 50,000 market cap. We got in at a ridiculously low market cap on Little Puff, and we didn't sell until we were up at the top. Up at the top was a $16, $17 million market cap. Not as high as this one, but we got in much lower, which meant that the juice, if you will, was that much sweeter. We ended up getting a 300x off of this. Remember that? We got a 300x off of Lil Puff. Now, after Lil Puff happened, then what happened? This dude launched more coins. He launched more tokens. What was one of those tokens? Let me go back here and see if I can find if there was, what was another one that was part of that ecosystem. The right wing was part of that ecosystem. And look at that right now, 39,000 market cap. Oh, you know what? I forgot. You know what, guys? I'm going to apologize to you. Maybe I've got a few of them over here on Dex Tools. No, I've cleaned up Dex Tools, so I have nothing over here. Anyway, well, I guess my stupid story. Jeff Kiradikis, he just kept launching new tokens. And guess what happened? They stopped pumping, because what he did was he extracted the value that you made out of all of them. Why? Because you held it too long. You didn't take the profit. You allowed him to take the profit, and he beat you at your own game. Now, let me tell you what the game is right now on xCellar. If you guys are not paying attention, Awesome Austin put $20,000 into the pre-sale. $20,000 into the pre-sale. He's up 30x right now. So Awesome Austin now has $600,000 or $660,000 worth. I'm assuming he took out his original investment at this point. I'm assuming that he's done something at this point. It would be foolish not to, but let's just consider he's got anywhere between $300,000 and $600,000 of a liquidity pool that's 1.1 million. What are you going to do if he sells? What are you going to do if he says, you know what? I made it. I got my money. And even if he DCAs out responsibly, even if he DCAs, he holds a huge amount of the liquidity pool. What are you going to do? And I'm not saying, by the way, that he's going to sell. What I'm saying is you're not in control. Okay. So if you put $1,000 in like me and you're up to $33,000 and you don't take 20,000 out right now and pay yourself and tip me for this call, if you don't take your money, you're foolish, okay? You're not going to... We're going into an altcoin cycle. We're going into the banana zone of the bull run. We're going into the piece right here that makes all the difference, okay? There's going to be more. And you won't be able to do more with more if you keep getting wrecked because you don't pay attention and you just hold on for this wild pie in the sky that you think is going to happen. I've said my piece. I can't say any more than that. All right. So good luck to you if you hold. But in my opinion, if you don't at least give yourself a nice pay raise or a pay date today, then I think you're foolish. All right. And I'm going to leave it at that. Now let's talk about where Bitcoin is and where it's going. As you guys may have known, there it is right there. I took my 30x. That's what I'm talking about right there. Take your 30x. Get your money and make sure that you are paying yourself, because if you don't, they will take theirs and they will pay you. Did I say that right? Did I say that in reverse? I might have said that in reverse because I'm kind of an asshole, but the point is there's a lot of opportunity here that you're missing out on, okay? If you don't get your money. And if there's a move to be made right there, and we got a meet with double $50 bombs. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Amit. It means a lot. It means the world to me, by the way, that you took the time to do that. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Now that... And I don't mean to dismiss it because you just sent me $100. I appreciate that. But I've been waiting to talk about Dr. Profit right now and just humor me on this one, right? So Dr. Profit is calling for 119 to 125. I'm telling you it's going above 125. I'm telling you that it's going to keep going, right? Well, what are we looking at right now? I want to say that I'm going to be right, but I don't know yet. Okay. We came up to about 124, right where, by the way, if this was 124,096, okay, it was 123,945. If that sumbitch had gone up to 124,096 that time, we got Jay Manuel in with a $20 super sticker. Guys, I appreciate you. I thank you so much. But if you, here's what I think is going to happen for Bitcoin right now. Okay. I think that Bitcoin is curling right now for another surge. All right. Now, I said that before right here where I thought that we were going to continue to get a surge. And guess what happened? We got that move over here and we got the dump before we got the pump. Okay. And what did that look like? Well, this is Bitcoin, a mature asset, dumped down to the 70% range from the impulse move. Okay. So don't forget that this shit happens, right? Then let's go over here and let's look from the impulse move. Let's take that last former impulse move and then let's break this down and say, well, this goes all the way up to the top here. If we just do that and we say that, this is the pivot. This is the actual pivot because we really just kind of moved and moved and moved. If I look at this on a weekly candle, it's going to look a little bit more like, wow, look at that's one single move right there. Okay. So if we use it as one single move right there, guess what? Still came down 61.8% from the top for that pivot on the move. Okay. Even Bitcoin comes down. So now the question is, where will Bitcoin go on this next move? Now, if we assume that we've hit the high, in the event that we've hit the high before the next big rally, then we've got this right here. And we're looking at an entry position right there. Long entry on dump, which is exactly what I gave you the other day when I said, let's do this one. It's going to be 116,400. 116,400, we're going to go long, okay? Now, that actually, look at this over here. That's not even the top of the range. This would have to be almost a catastrophic dump, but guess what? We get those catastrophic dumps sometimes. Here's what happened the last time. The last time we had this pivot right there. This time we have this pivot right here. This pivot, we dunked down way more on this pivot. So that's why this seems like a good entry spot to me, okay? Just looking through all of it, okay? Just looking through all of it right now. If Bitcoin doesn't continue on over the next, by the way, we're not going to do it on the weekends. The only time we've had a massive, and I mean massive, the only time we've had a massive weekend pump is, remember when, what is it called? When Silicon Valley Bank, remember when there was a run on Silicon Valley Bank and then we thought that USDC was going to become, was going to destabilize and it went down to like 91 cents and then Justin Sun came in and bought like $2 billion worth of it. Like, what the fuck? And then, of course, the market just rips because they're sitting out here saying, look, we're going to be fine. This is just a little piece of the money. We got plenty of money. We're still stabilized. We're fine. But the market was dumping. And then the next thing you know, Monday, back to $1 just like that. And Justin Sun made $200 million off of that play, by the way. In case anybody was wondering what ended up happening on that weekend, Justin Sun made $200 million on a fucking stable coin. Think about that for a second. Like, Jesus Christ. My opinion, but I think GST is about to have a nice run. I have 3 million tokens and ready to make bank. I don't know what GST is. Let's see. What's GST? Green Satoshi? I don't think so. Gunstar Metaverse, Green Satoshi still. GST. If it's this one right here, this is the spot to buy. So if it happens to be this random GST right here, that token's mintable. That can't be it. That can't be it because that you can mint new tokens on that and dilute the supply. Green Satoshi on Coinbase. There we go. Okay, so Green Satoshi. Okay, I don't like any of these. So this has just got to be the problem here has to be deck screener. I'm going to use this one for GHT, green Satoshi to the US dollar right here. Okay, so there we have it. 0.00. Is this the same? It's the same goddamn. Oh yeah, it's the same goddamn chart. We were right the first time. That was the one that we're talking about. At 500,000 market cap, sure. Like it could have a really nice rip there. Market cap is 22.7 million right now. I think that's a little bit high. For, I mean, what does it do? What's the reason for it to exist and stuff like that? And by the way, I'm not being dismissive in any way of meme coins or anything like that. I'm not being dismissive of them right now, but there's levels to this shit. Okay. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have nice runs. There will be nice runs, but you should sell your Bitcoin right now because we just hit 70 on the fear and greed index. Okay. The fag. I think it's at 71. Yeah, it's at 71 right now. So remember, we hit 30 about a week ago. Was it a week ago? It was more than 5 days ago. Son of a bitch. It was 926. So from 926 to now, and where was Bitcoin on 926? 110,000 went to 125,000. Dude, big time win. Big time win. Now all you have to do is take your winnings and just wait, because you're going to get another opportunity at 30. All you have to do is have the patience to wait on the sideline. So the fear and greed index has popped to 71 and we're ready to go. Now, back to my story. Bitcoin has to eat. Bitcoin has to run. Once Bitcoin has run, then the rest of the market is going to eat. Now, in the meantime, you're going to see some upward momentum. Be some upward momentum on Ethereum. There'll be some upward momentum on XRP, on Solana, on Link, on Avalanche, on Near, on HBAR. All the major caps, they're going to have some sort of upward momentum, right? But they're going to eat first. Bitcoin is going to get the money before everybody else. Then it's going to move into the large caps. Then it's going to move into the mid caps. And then we're going to have a blow off. Okay. I'm telling you right now, it always happens that way. It has always happened that way. By the way, it also happens in stock market. So just to give you guys the idea here, gold runs first. Gold pumps, then everything else starts pumping. Or, when you look at it from, maybe if you're just looking at like the SPY or NASDAQ or something, Tesla runs first and then everything else kind of follows. Or NVIDIA runs first and then everything else kind of follows. And then the liquidity from all of that win, from this major moment, all of that starts to come down and you start to speculate. Okay. This is your win right here. Bitcoin is your win. So take your win and play it to win, okay? And then put it into a large cap. Then put it into a mid cap, or put some into a large cap, some into what you think is a hot mid cap. Let me give an example of something that is a crazy one right here. Assemble Protocol. Look at Assemble Protocol. Every once in a while just does like wild shit. Like, and by the way, this is not dissimilar from the GST that Amit is talking about. But look at this. When sometimes Assemble Protocol just goes absolutely bonkers and just starts to absolutely explode. This time over here, it was trading at, what is this? It was trading at about 8.008. So a little under a penny, and then it runs up to 17 cents. A nice 17x off of that. And if you sold at or near the top on that, legend. And then it dipped back down to around 1 or 2 cents, and then it ran back up to 8 cents. So another easy 4x if you played it right. And if you didn't play it right and you just came down here and it came into this range right here at 3 cents, and you were like, you know what, let me get a shot at this one. Then you got an easy 2.5x from there. Then it crashed back down almost to a penny, 1.5 cents, 1.2 cents. So then from 1.2 cents, it then spikes back up to 6.3 cents. If you're buying Assemble right now, you're going to get a gift. Like ASM is probably going to soar. And you look at it from this context right here, and you can kind of see that, like this right here is where that's the ultimate bullish scenario, I want to say. And then your little more bearish scenario is probably right here. Now I'm going to take the liberty of drawing this out and see if I don't hit the top of that range. Son of a bitch, right there. Look at that. Okay, so the Assemble protocol, if you've got a few bucks on the side, buying Assemble protocol is easy money. Okay. Also, it also symbolizes breakouts, by the way. If you go back and you look at this, like these things break out, like this is one of the earlier breakout altcoins. So when you're starting to get those altcoin runs, Assemble protocol, for whatever reason, is one of them. And it's an AI based thing, by the way. I did this before. Assemble protocol crypto. Let's see, what is it? Assemble Protocol is a blockchain-based platform that initially focused on integrating and exchanging various e-commerce reward points into a single ASM token, allowing users to redeem points for products or cash. The project evolved into Assemble AI, an AI-powered news and market analysis platform that uses advanced AI to provide data-driven insights on crypto and economic trends through its News 3 agent, leveraging OpenAI's model name to deliver news, market psychology analysis, and investment strategies. So, again, this is one of those things that it's absorbing AI into it, and it's getting smarter. It's figuring out what the markets are doing, and it's helping people along the way. It will run one more time. So, guys, if you don't have any, that's fine. But you probably really should get some Assemble protocol because that's going to be one of those, again, mid cap sort of things. And by the way, this is kind of a low cap. It's not even a mid cap. But if you make a bunch of money off of Bitcoin and you start to get into large caps, I would allocate a little bit of money at least into Assemble protocol just to make sure that you have a bag of it just in case it just blows up, because it could go just crazy. All right. It's done it multiple times before. I think it's going to do it again. And it usually signifies the start of a massive rally in these markets. It didn't signify in this last rally, by the way. I want to point this out. It didn't do anything during this last big rally. And I want to point that out. I don't think I think that the reason for that is because Bitcoin has not really dumped. Okay. Bitcoin is still hovering near that high. Just money is coming into the market. This is my thesis. Okay. I don't know if I'm right, but it just feels to me like the money is just different right now. And this is the one that tells you we're about to hit an altcoin season. For some reason, the Coinbase model, they I don't know if it's Coinbase themselves, but they move money into Assemble protocol. And the next thing you know, the market goes crazy. Okay. So I'm watching Assemble protocol. I got a bag of Assemble protocol. Again, I'm not even, look, I told you guys before, I don't use Coinbase for my shit anymore because they're criminals and fuck those guys. But I still hold a bag of ASM and a bag of Tezos. Those are the two things that I hold. And that's it. So Amit says, I've made 5 figures a couple times on ASM. I mean, there you go. Like, it doesn't get any bigger than that right there. Like, you can see that there's so much money. Crypto Sparky, what's going on, my man? You can see it's just easy. It's easy money. By the way, it is getting super hot. It is hot in here. Might be the lights. Might be that I have the lights on. I mean, I can't do anything about that. But man, it's going to be a pit. It's going to be a pain in the ass weekend. Should be getting cold around here too. I'm in Chicago, so like, when does it get cold? You know what I mean? It's like 80 degrees today. So anyway, so let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum, I did not come up to the top of the range over here. Remember, I said that, if we get a run up into this range and we get above this, then I would be taking a long position right here at 47.79 for that run to 6,000. That didn't happen. We're getting a top over here. And by the way, let's point out that this top kind of corresponds to this downward trend that we're on right now, which is playing out this way right here, right there. So what do we do at this point? It looks to me like it's on that downward trend. So I don't want to say Dr. Profit's going to end up being right, Ryo, but he might be right. we're looking like, it looks like we're testing right now to see whether or not we've got the juice, if you will, to make a big move. Now, because this is playing out this way, it doesn't change my thesis. If it comes back down right here, this is your entry position. Like, I would go ahead and go in and take a position right here at about 42.50. 42.44. So 42.50 would be a great range to go long, maybe even 5 exit, just to see what happens and get an idea of how it's going to break. But that is the heart line, by the way. And if you notice right there, right along this little heart line, the little middle area right there, that's about where it is. So that's the potential for a strong bounce and a reversal. So I'll be looking for that. Solana broke down hard, by the way. And this is also why I say that, in my opinion, Bitcoin is about to explode, because look at today. Bitcoin is up on the day. We're down 24 billion on the day. Bitcoin is up or dead even on the day. Ethereum is same way. It's either up or dead even on the day. It's down 0.5%, not a huge amount. But Solana down 2.5%, XRP down 2.5%, Link down 2%, Avalanche down 4%, Near down 3%, HBAR down 4%. Going down the list, everybody's down a few points. So when they're all down a few points, but Bitcoin is not, it's because Bitcoin is coiling up for another leg. Now, what does the other leg look like? Remember the number that I gave you off of that last all-time high. Once we were here at the all-time high, right? And then what did we get? We got a nice run up here, which was about 10%. Well, what's 10% of where we are right now from that previous top over there? Remember, we're talking about the high over here. So what's 10% of this high that we're on right now at 124? Oh my word, it's like right where I told you guys, right there. 136,000 actually. So 135, 134,000 is where that next surge is. So again, I gave you 135 because it's a 10% increase in where we currently are. And it looks like that's what we're getting ready to do. So fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed. This might be, by the way, 135,000, I think, is about where it's going to get crazy. Okay. Like, I think that's where it's about to get crazy. Again, looking at the 1 hour over here, we're now on the 4 hour. It's still coming in higher, by the way. Like, let me point this out. I'm looking for a dump here, but if you look and you take it on the hour, you got a higher low on every hour. Now, this hour is not completed. We're 23 minutes into it, but if that maintains, we're going to have a higher low every single time. That's bullish, and that means a breakout is going to be imminent. So I would be watching for that. But also remember, over a few hours, if it continues where it is right now and it doesn't make any kind of big move, we're just going to end up, it's going to come down. You know what I mean? Like, it's just right now, everybody who's sitting there hoping is wanting to see a gigantic buy come in. But what you're seeing right now is gigantic sell after gigantic sell after gigantic sell. People have decided 30 million, that's their spot. So be careful. Be careful if you're still in it, okay? Again, I'm just telling you that it's time to take your profit. It's time to do your thing, and get back in if you can, using that Fibonacci 20 million market cap, 16 million market cap, all the way down to about 12.5 million market cap. It's a great opportunity for an entry. Okay. Now, when it zips again, I don't know if it goes to the all-time high. If it breaks down here for a while, this could be the top of that run. Again, you get this move down here, you get the clawback right there, then you get that move deeper in here, and then you get the breakout. Maybe if you don't get that breakout, then what you get is you get this, and then you get that test over here, which is going to come up to this range right here, which is going to be at 0.5 right there. And then you break down, and you're going to break down at about 4 or 5 million market cap. And the reason for that is because it's going to be just a little bit higher than that accumulation zone that you had over there for a few hours from before. And then that will hold as long as it holds until somebody screws something up, and then it'll come down to 2.5 million, which is going to be where this little accumulation zone was. Story is old as time, guys. Story is old as time. All right. So let's see whether or not it plays out that way. Again, if they do great work, if they do something really fantastic, it may not happen. You might just see this thing take off. We are in the market for things to take off. So Let's keep going on though. Avalanche still not after that big dump. Avalanche has tried. It looks like it's made a few surges, but it looks like people are just wanting to sleep on it right now because as soon as there's an opportunity for a dump, they're dumping into it. So I think whatever was going on with Avalanche is done. We'll look for it. I'm still, by the way, and this was, by the way, brought to you by Margex. So let's go look at that real quick. You can see I'm still in it, but there we go. I'm down 38%. I'm down $380 right now. So we have, if I were to cash this out right now, that'd be about $600, $620, which means that we have about around $7 grand. So we got about $7 grand to play with over here on Margex. I have not taken a position yet. We're not going to take a position here until we get, I want to see some dip. You know what I mean? I want to see some dip in the market, or I want to see some crazy pump in the market. We see some crazy pump in the market. We're going to start talking about shorting. We're not going to just do it because we want to do it. You know what I mean? Like we're going to wait and see, do we get something that makes absolute sense? And to be fair, again, I look at the Bitcoin thing right here and I say, well, you know, if I had done this at 124,000, maybe, but I still don't buy it. I still, look at this. I still don't buy that we're done. I think Bitcoin is ready to move. You know what I mean? And by the way, that doesn't mean that it will. Okay. It just means like this right here. There was a stiff sell-off when we hit that all-time high before. There was a stiff sell-off when we hit that all-time high before. There is not a stiff sell-off on the 4-hour after we hit this all-time high. This tells me, by the way, just same as xCellar right here. This move right here where we had just a little bit of a sell-off right there. And it broke out and it went absolutely crazy. T-Mass says, Bleeves been working out. Yeah, man, dude, putting it on, man. But here's the thing. My AC is out and they're not going to be here to fix it until Monday. So it is burning up. So I am like, you may not even be able to see it, but I am sweating right now doing this show. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and by the way, we're looking for large caps. When we do this, when we're taking these trades right here, we are looking for these large caps because that's where we want to, that's where we want to get our wins. But XRP is, oh shit. You know what? God damn it. Last night was the perfect time. Son of a bitch. Last night was the perfect time to get in, and I did not set a buy order. God damn it. God damn it. To me, that was a perfect opportunity. By the way, I say that, but yet the market could still go lower. All right. So not every win is a play. Sometimes the biggest win that you can make, by the way, just sitting on the sidelines. Why is that the case? Market's already at 77. You know what I mean? Like or 71. Market's already at 71. Is it going to go, how much higher is it going to go before people are like, you know what? We're at the top of the fear and greed index. It's time to take our profit. So it makes sense to see it come down a little bit more in the next couple days. Let's see if we don't get a move down to that 30. If we do, by the way, I'll make a deal with you guys. If we see a hardcore dump over the next couple days, if we start to see that move down into that range and we get to 30 on the fear and greed index again, we'll go all in. We will go all in on Bitcoin. We're gonna and by the way, we'll do I want to say 10x leverage or something. Like we'll do like 10x leverage if we can get this thing back down into that 30 range. So, and that's brought to you by Margex. If you haven't already, sign up for Margex. Helps me out tremendously. They don't pay me, by the way, for this, but I do get a commission when you guys trade. So, the more you trade, the more commission I make. And that's how I support myself, by the way. So, anyway, let's move on from that one. Link, I'm still waiting for Link to break out, but look at this, son of a bitch, another one. Went down to the range where I told you guys, and now it's starting to bounce off of it. Swee's looking bullish, by the way. Look at Swee. Like Swee looks like it really wants to continue on. So I would suspect, and this is, by the way, I would not enter a position right here. And the reason I wouldn't do that is because there's the heart line right there. It could go up or down either way. And what I'm seeing right now is it's bullish, but when it gets to here, it's probably going to dump anyway, which is $3.83. not a whole lot of movement there. It's about 8% from where it is right now. 8% at 5x is 40%, which sounds great, but I don't think that's worth it. It would be better to grab it right here and short it going into this, bringing it back down to maybe right here. So that's what I would be looking for. So let's look around here. Oh, by the way, if you guys did not see Floki, look at Floki. What a crazy breakout Floki had. For those of you that don't know, Floki now has an ETP in Europe. There is a Floki exchange traded product in the European Union. It is the first meme coin with an ETP. Unbelievable. So that caused Floki to explode yesterday. Went up almost 100%. And I mean, Floki's just got a huge market cap at this point, you know, and it's going to be forgotten. By the way, they're going to do a great job. I love the team at Floki. I've always liked the team at Floki. They always are at the forefront of shit happening in cryptocurrency. So shout out to them. Also, if you can get in, you know, accumulate in some of these dips, some of these zones down here, you know, buying at this spot, not going to end badly for you. So, you know, certainly happy to see Floki continuing on years later. And they got hacked. I mean, it is crazy what was happening over there. GST is up 24% right now. Same thing happening over here, but it looks like it's still trying to push. So it looks like GST might even be breaking out. Beam's up 3% on the day. That doesn't make any sense. Can't be any trade volume here. 4 million market cap. Yeah, Beam is wrecked. All right. Well, we're not going to be worried about Beam. Not at a 4 million market cap. All right. So we're going to, whoops, cancel that. Definity. I still don't know. What is Floki? Is the real Elon meme? No, they created it because in 2021, Elon got a dog and he said, I shall name it Floki. And they made Floki. Because Elon was a fan of the show Vikings and he liked the character Floki in that Viking show. That's how it all started. So from there, they just did a great job of building. I mean, you know, that thing went to, I want to say that it went to like a couple billion market cap at one point. Floki. The number 86 crypto at 991 million market cap. Look at that. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, almost a 3 billion market cap. 2.67 billion market cap for Floki at one point. And going back to all time, I was here. Matter of fact, let me see. Hold on. Your videos. Floki. All right. I was talking about Floki. August 3rd of 2021 was my first time talking about Floki. August 3rd of 2021. Also, here was me walking my fat ass around telling you that Floki was going parabolic. Look how big I was. Woo! God damn. But anyway, yeah, Floki went absolutely crazy. So, but this one was 2021, early part of 2021. So insane. Absolutely insane. All right. So anyway, we're at about 50 minutes, so I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Maybe we'll do something again tomorrow. Tomorrow's football. Pretty sure Louisville was losing. I was getting annoyed by it because they weren't playing hard. They look like shit. And I called them a pretender after the first game this year. and said, well, better luck next year, because there was a lot of preseason stuff where people were talking about Louisville could end up being one of those sleeper teams and stuff like that. In the first game, they were playing an FCS team, which is a second tier, and they were struggling in the second half with their twos against their ones. And if your twos cannot soundly beat an FCS team, then you are going to suck at some point. So Louisville had Virginia come to town, and they were down 24-14 going into the fourth quarter. So I don't know what ended up happening, because I went live because it was just infuriating me to see, another BS day from Louisville. So anyway, I'm out of here. You guys have a good weekend. It's going to be hot, so I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we won't. Just going to depend on the heat and stuff like that. I am starting to get a sheen because I am starting to sweat pretty hard. So it's not financial advice, but I'm always
Looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.